going this episode of driving down the road like a truck driver. The current events thing, we got Joe Biden. He's putting a lot of them pardon deals. Everybody knew he's going to do it. I don't know why anybody thought that he wouldn't. So we got the Democrats and CYA. I think they tried to start nuclear war with Russia, and they backed out off of that. Now they're just going to try to pardon everybody. Looks like he already pardoned his son, and now talking about a pardon for Dr. Fauci. And then I talked to Dad earlier. He said he watched that show this morning, Meet the Depressed, and they were talking about pardoning Fauci and everything. Looked like there was an earthquake off the coast of California. I actually had a buddy, a hotshot driver. I hadn't talked to him in a while. He hit me up, and then a few hours later, he sent me that message. So that was cool. And I was Operation Help Our Allies, I believe. They did 26 tents, and pretty good sized tent, and it come with a camp stove. So he's out there. He's giving out around Appalachia. Did 16 in one area in preparation for the Amish to come down and start building cabins. So the Amish are going to come down out of Pennsylvania, and they're going to stay there. And of course, if they got a tent to live in, then they'll be able to be more effective in building the cabins. So that's real good, A shout out this week from a preacher, a real good guy, Rigo, Regio. I'll post a thing on there, one of his deals, where everybody can get on there and listen to what he's got to say. Young man's a great preacher, definitely got the Holy Ghost going on, and it's great to see. It's like watching morning glories in the morning. The sun comes up and the flower pops out or whatever. You do your little time lapse. You know what I mean? And just seeing the young man grow it's really awesome. So that's pretty good. The puppies got their eyes open. They're at the house, so that's cool. And so Tracy's doing good there. They did a 2-year at the church, and then they did a 10-year at the Celebrate Recovery, and she was able to be a part of both of those. And a lot of that stuff is you can't talk about it. You know what I mean? It's like you help people with their situation, point them towards Jesus type of deal, and just kind of be there for them. It works if you keep coming or whatever. You know what I mean? So shout out to Celebrate Recovery, to all you people that's out there doing the things it takes to restore the earth. So that's real good. We still got our No Problem Llama up here on the deal. Put a little glue on it. This morning had a little bit of a breakdown. I had to fix the windshield wiper spring motor thingy, and also the hoses blowed off after I got it up to high pressure, so I had to redo that. So a little bit of working on stuff. Bought me some new pants, of course. Then 2 hours, got grease on them, just like always happens. And so that was nice. And we're headed over here to Atlanta, south of Atlanta. We're going to drop off these batteries. Then apparently we'll go sow our wild oats. We'll be delivering tomorrow morning, and then driving. Got to sit there all day and wait for the next load, which is oats, and then take the oats up to Massachusetts, up to BJ's distribution center for the Quaker Oat people. Apparently they do something up there with Quaker Oats. I do not know. I'll find out tomorrow, but that's what's going on. It's just getting out of the rain. Looks like the snow will be stopped up that way by the time we get up there. New York had a lot of lake effect snow, a little bit of road closures in Pennsylvania, so we'll have to map out our trip plan pretty good to head that way. But the Earth itself, the road temperature is still warm, so I think that most of it will be cleared off by the time I get there. And, you know, I got a 9:30 a.m. delivery with a 7 p.m. Pickup. So, you know, that'll put me just outside of my window of a restart for my clock over here. You got to wait 10 hours in between. So, I'll have like 2 hours of driving, 8 hours of sleeper berth. I have to do another 2 hours somewhere. So that'll work out to drive all night, take a nap somewhere, post up the next day. I prefer my snow driving to be at night anyway, because, you know, there's hills, there's corners, there's snow, there's ice. These are, you know, kind of stable. Other cars are highly variable, and a lot of people that are scared to drive, they won't go out at night. And then a lot of people that are smart, they think it's colder and more dangerous at night. So the general public will stay home. So I like to do wide ice road trucking at night, specifically for that reason. Just, you know, less cars on the road, some fewer obstacles that are in motion, probably too fast for conditions. And I know that I'll be driving too fast for conditions, so that's the way it goes. And, you know, you just can't stop. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? You keep looking way down the road, and, you know, just tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna start driving, and when I get there, I'll try to stop one time. I'm not stopping for this, I'm not stopping for that, I'm not stopping, you know what I mean? And one of the things that I find incredibly helpful is to realize if you're a truck driver, you're probably pulling a trailer. Well, you got I will not drive a truck that does not have a trailer brake independent of the regular brakes, specifically because the truck's got 2 steer tires and then 2 drive axles. Each one of those has 4 tires. So 2, 4, and 4 is 10. 10. But the trailer has 2 sets of 4. 4 and 4 is 8. Okay, so that's 2 less tires. Then, if you think about it, what happens when you hit the brakes in your car? You nose down. More of your braking is in the front because momentum shift. So as the momentum shifts, the attitude of your car or your motorcycle or your semi-truck, a lot of your braking power is in the front. So if I got 10 tires, multiplied braking due to attitude, well, the truck's going to stop and the trailer's going to keep going. That's why you see these trucks off in the ditch. You'll see the trucks turned around like this, and then the trailers, you know, about like my arm, where the truck, it looks about a lot like that. Well, what's happening with that is the trailer is still going while the truck's stopping. So if you stop using the trailer, like it literally pulls the vehicle back straight as far as the combination vehicle. So if you're on a straight road, your momentum's pointed straight, and you slow down using just the trailer brakes and not the truck brakes, you will stop in a straight line, which is highly recommended. Also, if you get to doing this, you can slow down with just the trailer. And then to assess the road conditions, like you're driving, it's looking a little shiny for whatever reason. You know, there might be moisture, there might not. There might just be like a frost, whatever. I've seen it look incredibly slick. Pull over to the side of the road, get out, rub my boot on the road, and it's just rough as a cob because that's just the finish that's on the highway. like a fresh seal coat. You know what I mean? Other times it looks fine, and you get out and you fall down immediately, just feet out in front of you, and then fall, standing on ice, right? Well, when you're driving, you hit the brakes and your front tires stop turning, you lost control. Okay, so if your steer tires are not rolling, doesn't matter which way they're pointed, you're going to go where the momentum takes you. So that's why you drive by the seat of your pants. Okay, so if I'm taking a corner or something else like that, that's got G-forces. Think of a lateral movement like in football, you got the lateral. You know what I mean? Where you throw it to the side. So if I'm turning right and I'm pulling left, I got a chance of sliding that way, right? So I want to make sure my tires are still turning. For one, that's major right there. You want to make sure your steer tires are in fact rolling and not locked up. Because if they're rolling freely, they might be slipping a little bit, but they're still digging off over this way. Where if they're locked up, they're just moving straight with the momentum. So one way you have some control, the other way you have none. And then you can adjust that with your speed. It starts getting a little hairy, slow down using the trailer. If you're driving and you don't know if it's slick or not, wait till you're going uphill, because you're going to slow down anyway because you're going uphill. You'll lose your momentum going up the hill. Going uphill straight, grab that trailer brake a little bit. If it slows you down and you got good traction, well, the road's got good traction. If you touch that trailer brake and nothing happens, you just keep going the same speed, you're on ice, buddy, and it's about, you better let the momentum of the hill slow you down. And that's something that I would always do, is speed up. Now, everybody tells you, you're going to hear it. I don't know how many different arguments I've heard over the years. I've drove motorcycles, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, dune buggies, trucks, tanks, half-tracks. You name it, I've drove it. And I'm going to tell you right now, speed up. Gain control, then do what you got to do to appropriately stop and assess the situation. But if you come around the corner and you start losing control for whatever reason, if you hit the gas, it'll straighten you out. I don't know why. There's something to it. But if you speed up, like say you're driving and you blow a steer tire, you hit that brake, that front end dives, that rim digs in, it'll pull the steering wheel right out of your hand. You know, I was talking to a lady at the school for driving trucks, right? This was like 8-10 years ago. Of course, I've obviously been driving a lot more than 8 or 10 years. And that lady said, there's no, because she was an instructor because she quit driving because she was scared to drive because she wrecked a dump truck. And she said, and I quote, when that tire blew and I hit the brakes, Hercules himself couldn't have held the steering wheel. There was no way. And when I said, well, yeah, don't hit the brakes, hit the gas, she was very upset. She was very mad with me about that. She was highly emotional. And that was the instructor. Anyway, yeah, you are in danger out here on the highway. For sure. For sure. The most dangerous thing you're going to do is drive on the highway. For sure. Stateside. I mean, unless you got some kind of crazy wild job or whatever else like that. But, just average Joe Schmo, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, used to it was the minivans you had to watch out for, but now it's the SUVs. Like, you got soccer mom, she's putting on her makeup, 3 kids squealing in the car. She's doing 90 in a 35. Yeah, that's actually, Karen, I mean, she's just full freaking, blue-haired rage. Yeah, you got to watch out for those. Anyway. necessarily that you got to watch out for them more than others. It's just, you know, you'll see that guy on that motorcycle doing 150 like twice, 3 times a year. You know what I mean? And then you'll see that, you know, that semi truck hauling fuel for some reason. Those guys are nuts that haul gasoline. And they'll drive 100 miles an hour in a 55 in a semi full of gasoline. I don't know why. It's just a thing. You'll see that 6 or 7 times over your career, right? Karen, late for school with the screaming kids in the car seat, putting their makeup on, every day. Every day I see somebody doing that. Every day. And then when you're looking, especially at night, you can spot them because the inside of the cab will be lit up. That dude's on the phone. He's not paying attention. He's on autopilot. And he wasn't a very good pilot to begin with. And so, you know, he'll do the drift and swerve and straighten out, and drift and swerve and straighten out. Yeah, he's drunk or he's on the phone. And, you know, from dusk till dawn, the light inside the cab will tell you if he's on the phone or not. And then I like to get to the side because I can see down in the vehicles, you know. From my vantage point, I'm looking down. So I look down in the vehicles. If they're on the phone, I give a little toot of the horn. And, I had one, well, we don't tell her herself here at Skips Home Services. Anyway, it's fun to honk at people on occasion. I'm a honky. Anyway, current event, Skip. That's about all we got. It's, you know, I'm over here in Alabama. Down south, it was kind of rainy, and then now it's kind of dried out. I think I'm going to go over here and thinking about working out. Working on a new joke for the holidays or thereafter. I quit cold turkey. So when you're telling somebody, say, yeah, you know, I quit cold turkey. But you just wait for, and they're like, what, cigarettes or drinking? We'll come up with all these different vices. Like, no, like the leftovers. I've yet to perfect the joke. I'm still working on it. But the statement, I quit cold turkey, everybody has laughed. It's taken on a different form each time I've told it. And being out here talking to random people, I like to, I'm bored, man. I'm really bored. So, yeah. I mean, you can only write up a business plan and do your budget so many times. You know, I have been reading Psalm 118 and then Luke 137. There seems to be a connection with those two. You might want to look those up. And, man, I'll tell you what, the singing to the Lord, you know, a lot of people call that worship, but worship can be, you know, like I quit eating pork, you know what I mean? And I love bacon, man. I love bacon. So every time I'm in the store and I see that bacon and I don't get it, you know what I mean? And it's just like, dude, you know? And then, man, I got some liver yesterday. I got some more of it today. That liver's terrible, man. I mean, it's all right or whatever. But I see one deal. I got a bag of onions. We're going to try it with the onions. Maybe that'll help it, man. And I'm just buying the stuff at the store. Got it out of the package. Kind of poured some water on it and dumped the juice out. Watered up, you know what I mean? And then just threw it in the skillet with some olive oil. And they say don't cook it too much because it'll turn to leather. The stuff I got was real thin slices. It wasn't like a whole liver, you know, but it's beef liver or whatever. Anyway, just a little bit ago, I realized I hadn't took no vitamins or nothing. That stuff's supposed to have a lot of mineral and vitamin stuff that you need or whatever. And so when I take my vitamins, when I pee, it's like, you know, the vitamin color. You know what I mean? They'll turn like this, look like antifreeze or whatever. Well, I guess I had some residual from yesterday because it looked like that when I peed. I was like, man, did that liver make it that color? Just like when I take the vitamins? And then I was like, is there something in our nutrition? Like if we're not paying that color, are we like deficient? Like, can you tell? You know, and then, yeah, I've been drinking the water, you know, and then little Debbie got me. I was doing good. I walked away from the brownies. I was doing good. I said, no, I'm just going to get some coffee, you know what I mean? And drink some coffee, you know, and then just feel a little bit sleepy driving. And then I seen the Snickers with pecans, and I was like, and then I tried the Snicker with pecan, and of course it was a fudge share size. So I ate that, and it was just like, I had to get the taste out of my mouth because it was terrible. It was not good. It was, if you get a Snickers, get the real one. Don't get the pecan. It ain't no good. And then I ended up eating the brownie. And of course, you know, you get a deal on them if you get two, so I ate 2 brownies. So basically, I had 1,500 calories of Little Debbie brownie and a Snickers. It was like $5.10 per brownie, so that's 1,010. I don't know how much that Snickers was. I want to guess it was every bit of 500. And then this morning I had some leftover. Well, here's some of the leftover liver, which I was watching the thing and it showed them they pull that membrane off before they cook it or whatever. And I think this got sliced and left that membrane on there. So I've been chewing up everything, and whatever pieces kind of chewy left, whatever, I've been just throwing that out the window. And that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been eating my liver. And but I see one guy. Now this dude, you're gonna love this. This dude sauteed onions, right? And then he took boiled eggs and he pulled the yolk out of the eggs like he's gonna make a deviled egg, and he mashed it up with a potato masher, right? And he mashed that liver up in there. And I don't know if you guys ever eat liver or not like that, but man, it's after I see that, I was like, man, it does kind of taste like egg or whatever. So I think I'm gonna eat some liver with some boiled egg and just kind of mix it up with that stuff or whatever. I see how that goes, because it is the consistency. But when I just ate that, I just grabbed it out of the cooler and I had about half, probably about a 3 to 4 ounce chunk of Swiss cheese. So I'd eat a little bit of liver and spit the gristle out and then take a bite of Swiss cheese. So that's like that's like I ate that about 10 o'clock, and then here just I don't know, an hour ago, which it's 4 o'clock now. Anyway, ate them Little Debbie's. I'm over here in Montgomery, Alabama, and this is one of the worst places to drive in a big truck. They got the, you know, they drive like a bat out of hell, but the speed limit's like 40, and it's, you know, I just come from 6 lanes squishing down to 3, and you know, the speed limit's 40. I'm running 55. Everybody's passing me, but you know, I'm on the verge of reckless driving due to the speed limit. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do? You know, and so I do the go with the flow as much as possible, because that seems to avoid accidents. You know, because that's the main thing. You know, I get a ticket. Somebody dies. Well, somebody died. You know, so we ain't gonna. We'll just take the ticket. You know, and we'll fight that in court. Anyways, yeah. So that's what's going on. I've been seeing a lot of hope. It seems like in the past month, it's been a bit more of a roller coaster. You know what I mean? That I've been seeing that there's a lot of hope, and then I'm seeing some stuff about more stuff about the aliens and stuff. So seeing that stuff, which, you know, obviously it's demons. I mean, Tucker Carlson, of all people, if you want to talk about aliens, you need to watch Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. It's on YouTube. You can look it up, and they talk about, you know, are aliens real or not, and everything else like that. It'll give you a real good perspective. It really will, because Tucker's like, you know, traditionally those were called demons. You know what I mean? They're angels. You know, and how they conducted themselves is how you can tell if they were good or bad by how they were acting. And like, you know, all societies up until 100 years ago called them angels and demons, you know, and even the, you know, cave paintings, the Aborigines even, you know, talked about the people from somewhere else or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's a great perspective on that, you know, and so that's real cool. I definitely recommend hearing that, because like there's a lot of stuff about transition where sometimes you get lied to, you know what I mean? And, you know, I've been tricked a bunch. So, 9 times out of 10, if I'm on here acting like I really know something, it's because at some point or another, somebody tricked me into some bullshit. You know what I mean? And, you know, I was, you know, Tom Sawyer painting the fence or whatever, and then watch the other guy get paid, you know, or whatever, and I'm like, man, I ain't falling for that again. You know what I mean? Because I didn't suffer through it. You know, a lot of things about maturity and wisdom are the results of suffering. You know what I mean? Like if you suffer through something, you're like poverty. You know what I mean? If you've never been poor in your life, you've always had a place to live. You know what I mean? And you never woke up and thought to yourself, I'm hungry and I didn't eat yesterday. I don't have anything to eat today, and it's starting to snow, and I'm in the woods. If you've never had that feeling, then you're probably not. You're probably gonna freak out. You know what I mean? But if you've been there, done that, it's not so bad. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you know, I know how to, you know, acquire what I need, to build what I need, to hunt the food that I need, and, you know, or whatever. You know, you'll figure it out. You've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So you mature. You know, it's because you done suffered through that. You know, if you suffered through elementary school, then you probably can count and read, understand a calendar, stuff like that. Well, if you're some migrant that just showed up and you don't speak English and you don't really know much about counting, and, you know, I mean, you're in a bad way. You're in a bad situation. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then on the other hand, if you you know, didn't pay attention when you had a chance in elementary school, and, you know, can be misled in a lot of ways, you know. So going from ignorant of aliens to, oh my God, there's an alien, is tremendous. But then, like, how long have they been here will eventually cross your mind, and that's where you'll start looking back, you know, when did they show up? You know what I mean? And you'll have this progression of questions and stuff, especially if you don't know the Bible. And then you're going to have to be able to deal with that. And you got to be able to deal with people just stopping in the middle of the highway. I think we just figured out why the speed limit's 40 miles an hour down through here. Because they all just, you know, stopped. I got a load of batteries back here, you know what I mean, going to Google. So, yeah. Can't have those falling down. Anyway, and now they're all going 75 again. I tell you what, it's something else. Anyway, you got to be vigilant. You know what I mean? And then me, you know, driving these trucks or whatever. You know, I looked up there. I could see over the top of about 8 cars. And see them, you know, merging and jamming up their brakes and everything like that. You know, so I could stop. I could start stopping before, and then I could adjust my pressure on the brake to save my freight without hitting no, you know, Mr. Can't Merge up here. So anyway, yeah, that's all part of it, you know. stuff could just jump out at you. But yeah, if you know somebody and they're not a big Jesus kind of person or whatever else like that, the alien topic and the Joe Rogan with Tucker Carlson, and then the Joe Rogan with that one-hit wonder redheaded fella, Richmond, north of Richmond. That guy, he read, type in Joe Rogan Proverb 420, which, if you know what 420 is pretty funny. Anyway, watch that. Did they watch Joe Rogan's reaction to that? You know what I mean? Watch that, and then Tucker and Joe, and have a discussion with your, atheist friend or whatever. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, what's your take on this? What do you think about it or whatever? You know what I mean? And that's an excellent opportunity for debate and to be like, what is this? But by hearing these other dudes that are intelligent and articulate, it inches them closer to the Bible. It's not just dumping the Bible right on them or whatever else like that, but you're getting them closer to it. You know what I mean? So see, you don't have to go out and get somebody saved. You know what I mean? Like the modern church got it backwards. You're supposed to know God and know all the rules, requirements, and stuff like that before you get baptized. And then the baptism is a public declaration of, hey, I love this and I want to dedicate my life to this. You know what I mean? It's not, get scared I'm going to go to hell, and so I better take a bath, and now somehow everything's okay. Now, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? It's like, you got the cart before the horse. Anyway, get your fire insurance for sure. You know what I mean? But work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I mean? And, read your Bible all the time. All the time you want to read the Bible, because and then anytime you have a question about something, you know what I mean? What does the Bible say about taxes? What does the Bible say about abortion? What does the Bible say about marriage? What does the Bible say about tithes? What is a tithe? What is, manifest destiny? What are the prerequisites of salvation? And you can Google that stuff. And then you can go to, and it'll tell you in the Bible right where to find it. You know what I mean? And it'll give you like 30, for instances. You can go then at that point, go to each point in the Bible or whatever else like that. And have your Bible study where you're doing get with somebody that knows what they're doing, right? You want a Bible buddy. That way you can, bounce ideas off of them, but talk with them and have that fellowship and stuff like that. But in today's age, you know what I mean? If you need some bullet points answered, like right here, right now, like how fast should I drive? What does the Bible say about speed limits? You know what I mean? What does the Bible say about driving in the snow? You know what I'm saying? You'll be amazed at the things that you can find in the Bible. You'll be absolutely amazed. The Bible's not going to say what type of car and all this other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But it'll say things like, value training. You know what I mean? Like, talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Learn your craft. And they'll say things about, preserving life. Like, don't run over nobody. You know what I mean? And then there's stuff in there like, if an axe head, like you borrow an axe, the head flies off and kills somebody. You're supposed to take care of that man's family for perpetuity. You know what I mean? And you got to replace the axe for the guy that you borrowed it from. You know what I mean? So now you're indebted to this family because you killed that guy. And then you're indebted to the guy that you tore up his tools. So you can see that stuff, right? Okay, now how does that apply to driving in a snowstorm? Well, don't kill nobody, so you ain't got to take care of their family. Let that guy live. And then, be respectful of the, position that you're in, driving a truck. This ain't my truck, it's somebody else's truck, right? So if I I tear it up, I got to replace it. You know, this thing's $225,000. You know what I mean? I got $180,000 worth of batteries in the back. I personally don't want to pay $400,000 because somebody stopped in front of me and I run them over. Plus, I got to take care of this dude's family because I just squished him like a bug. That's how the Bible applies to what I'm doing right here, right now. You know what I mean? And there's this thing, and it's how to experience heaven on earth, and it's in Leviticus. It's in chapter 6, chapter 7, and again in chapter 11. It's like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you will experience heaven on earth. Like, you ain't got to die and go to heaven or anything like that. You don't have to do that. Like, it tells you exactly what to do to experience heaven on earth. Preacher man showed me that. A year later, I'm like, hey, where was that at? He shows it to me again. I said, is anybody doing this? And everybody said, no. And I said, why not? And this is pretty much the standard answer. Everywhere I go across the country, point that out and ask. They do this. Are you serious right now? You want to stand in front of the creator of the universe and him say, well, why didn't you do what the book said? I was busy on Facebook. You know? Oh, well, I was busy. You know, I had to have a job, so I had to have a car, so I had to put oil in the car. There's a story in there where it said the king was going to get married, so he asked all these people to show up at his deal, and everybody was busy. One of them said, oh, I got to go here and check on this land book. Said, oh, I'm busy at the shop. One of them said, oh, I got to go out of town. So he talked to his guys, and he said, go out to the highways and the byways and tell everybody, come in here. My house is going to be full for my marriage, right? And then the day of the marriage comes or whatever, dude goes walking in there, and they had like a special deal for the marriage, like an invite or whatever, and they had a garment that signified they were, you know, part of the in crowd. Well, he sees this old boy that ain't got it. He said, how'd you get in here? And he said, he didn't say nothing. So he tells the servants, he says, bind him hand and foot and cast him into the outer darkness where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. I said right there, I said, man, I said, I'm going to make sure I got my wedding clothes on. You know what I mean? And what that was talking about is many are called, but few are chosen. So when you want to go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, you want to be covered in the blood of Jesus. You want to make sure you're in like flint. You want to have enough oil in your lamp that you can load some out and still be good. You know what I'm saying? It says something about don't let the right hand know what the left hand's doing or whatever else like that. Well, I read about these streets of gold and stuff, so I did all kinds of good stuff. I didn't tell nobody what I was doing. And I thought one day, I said, well, I probably got enough for a used pickup to drive around in heaven, right? And which I don't think that's the way it goes, but that's what I was thinking, you know what I mean? So I thought, well, I'll tell somebody else. But when I told somebody else, they started doing these good things too. Which, you know, giving socks to homeless people or feeding people in need, or, you know, just like randomly pay some old lady's electric bill. You know what I mean? Go to the feed store and say, hey, do you have an elder that buys feed here that's poor? They will know somebody. Say, hey, are they running an account? Yeah. Let me pay their account. Let me bring them up to level. You know what I mean? Pay their bill. You know what I mean? Go to that cafe that feeds those elderly people or whatever like that that's running a tab and pay the elder's tab. Anonymously. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's laying up treasure in heaven. Find them nobodies. Those nobodies, those less thans, and treat them like Jesus. The Bible says when you're doing it for the least of these, you're doing it for Jesus, right? So you find that guy, borderline borderline suicidal, strung out on drugs. You get him sober, you get him a job and everything, and show him this, show him that, whatever. Let him get an apartment. Now he's got an apartment, a driver's license, and a real job. And when he says, man, I want to pay you back, say, you don't read nothing. Here, read this Bible. Got 2 hours a day. We'll call it even. Something like that, you know what I mean? Lay up treasure in heaven. Now that where your mind is, where your treasure is, that's where your mind will be also. Right? So if my mind is in heaven, and things down here ain't going so good, well, I kind of expect it to not go so good, to be honest with you. But what I'm expecting after the fact, dude, yeah. It's going to be epic. My father's house has many mansions. The streets are paved in gold. Dude, I can't begin to explain to you how bad people don't know. And it says that people die for a lack of understanding. You know what I mean? So get wisdom, get understanding, and get out there and let them know. All right? Now go get them. Rock hell. Right.